Ayo, glad to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me, CFA.
So tell me, how do you think COVID-19 has affected the e-commerce industry?
Pre-COVID, before the whole pandemic situation, players in the e-commerce space were trying to sort of get by. We're seeing others, but it wasn't as much as we are seeing now. But with the COVID situation, it definitely accelerated demand. Due to the lockdown, I mean, people could not move around, so they had no option than to shop online. One thing we can pick out in terms of digital tools, in terms of technology, is that it's accelerating the use and the adoption of technology. So we can claim that as a win of this entire COVID situation. Yeah.
And do you think that we were prepared for a situation like this technologically?
No, we were not. Like I said, the kind of economy or the kind of environment we are used to is a very high touch sort of setup. We like to, for a 10 minutes meeting, you want to see the person, you want to look at them, see their face. But with COVID, everyone was forced to go digital. Everyone was forced to go like virtual. We were not prepared, but I mean, within a space of one month, everyone already saw the new reality, and then they started adopting tools like on a Zoom call now. Normally, this would have been me coming to your studio to have some fancy setup and everything, but we see we have to adapt rather, and just make use of the best we have, right? So I think it's a plus generally, yeah.
Now, Ayo, would you say this is the best of times for the Nigerian e-commerce industry?
I wouldn't say this is the best time. I would actually say the best times or the best days are ahead of us. Some people have seen the convenience of going digital, the convenience of shopping online, and I don't think they'll be going back to going to the grocery stores for any little thing they want. They'll rather shop online and just enjoy that convenience. So we are just starting, actually. We're just scratching the surface. The best days are definitely ahead, I would say.
So from now onward, you don't expect any downward curve anymore for the industry?
For e-commerce, I wouldn't expect a downward curve. I mean, anyone who has experienced e-commerce, right, has experienced the convenience of you clicking from your computer or from your phone and having goods delivered to your home. I don't think anyone in their right senses will want to, for every little thing, walk to the store, right? So it's going to be up from here. I don't see it going down. Yeah.
But there was one issue that kept popping up every now and then previously, which was the issue of trust. And of course, it's the second one of the pay on delivery. But let's deal with the issue of trust. Do you think that the industry, due to the pandemic, has been able to overcome that?
Not entirely. So yes, trust is a big deal. It's causing a big gap in the adoption. But I also think that to solve that challenge, it's going to lie in the hands of the merchants, right? It's going to lie in the hands of the platform providers. Yes, there's a general trust gap, but if merchants actually decide that, okay, for our own service, for our own delivery, we're going to ensure that the customer's experience is optimal. It's one that would deliver an experience that makes them want to shop again. It's one that would build trust rather than tear it apart. Then such merchants will definitely be seeing positive results, because people are going to attribute that experience to them. Even though there's a gap generally in the society, they can say, oh, I know this merchant, they will never deliver one day late. So if merchants can take that bold step or can make the effort to ensure quality service delivery, right, to ensure that, okay, we said we're going to deliver in 24 hours, and then 24 hours is 24 hours, then people are going to attribute that experience to them. And you know, word of mouth, once they keep at it and they're consistent, the word will spread around, and that's how we can actually grow the ecosystem. When people see that, okay, this is what these guys are doing, everyone is going to step up. Everyone wants to be the last man, right? So we just need a few players to step up the game, and then everyone comes up.
So I hear you clearly about service delivery, but what about the issue of the fact that you order one thing and then you receive something of maybe low quality, or wasn't what you expected. How
What I
do we
got
deal with that
versus
aspect of, yeah, exactly.
it's still the same response, because again, what matters is the customer experience. What matters is what the customer is getting in the end. If I know that if I shop from this particular merchant, I'm not sure of the authenticity of the goods I'm getting, then maybe the first experience I'll get my fingers burned, but subsequently I won't shop again. So merchants need to think long term, right? And those guys that are selling substandard or low quality goods, they are just in for the quick win, and they too know that they can't. I mean, it's not sustainable. So we just need a few merchants to deliver quality, and then everyone will step up.
Okay, let's talk about pay on delivery.
Okay.
Do you think it's still a necessary evil, or it's time to go?
It's a mix, right? It's a mix, I would say, depending on the kind of merchant, depending on the kind of product, etc., depending on the value of the transaction. It's always a mix. You know, some people would be hesitant once the transaction value is exceeding a certain amount. They would never ever put their card details online. You know that. So they will say, "Bring it, let me see, and then I'll pay you." And then the merchant will say, "Okay, I know what's at stake, right? I'll deliver the goods. I mean, if I'm going to make, say, 20K from this transaction, how much is it going to cost me to I'm willing to lose 2K on delivery fees just to secure this transaction." So they will factor the cost, factor the economics, and you'll still win. It's still necessary because, again, we can't 100% rely on the payment infrastructure we have.
Finally, Ayo, where do you see your startup as well as the ecosystem in a post-COVID world, say in 5 years' time?
Right, 5 years is quite a long time, but it's hard to predict. The environment is very dynamic, but if I would say in the next 2 years, definitely there will have been a more mature ecosystem. Any startup, any business that is able to survive 2020 will be stronger for it. So they'll go into 2021 stronger. They'll be smarter. They'll know that, okay, what we saw in 2020, we can't be caught off guard again, right? So they'll prepare, they'll guard up, and that will just make your business more resilient, right? So, and as Nigerians, we're generally very resilient. So I see that spirit translating into the businesses we build. Startups too also need to toughen up, and the environment is quite tough, so you need to toughen up. But on a macro scale, the environment is very dynamic. It's hard to predict. If you get to 2021, something can happen now. So I actually can't say this is how things will be. But what I can say is businesses operating and startups operating need to, I'll be frank, you need to think on a global or on a pan-African scale, right? I'm a Nigerian, I'm patriotic, but you can't put your eggs in one basket, right? You need to, and even it's a plus for the country because if you are able to export digital products, that's foreign exchange for us, right? So we need to begin to export and think globally, think Pan-African, not, Nigeria is a big market, and then we focus, our eggs. From day one at Loystar, we knew that we were not necessarily a Nigerian company. Today, we have merchants from the US, Gambia, Ghana. So we need to position for a global market, Pan-African one.
Well, Ayo, always a pleasure chatting with you. I'm happy that you have survived so far, and here's wishing you all the best. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you, CFA. I appreciate it.
That was Ayo Daudu, co-founder Loystar, who is of the opinion that the e-commerce industry can only become stronger, but all hands must be on deck to ensure that the trust issue that has confronted the industry for many years is wrestled once and for all. We also have to ensure that startup founders like Ayo are supported to thrive. Support is one key reason why Silicon Valley and other top startup ecosystems are what they are today, posting some revenue sizes that equals the GDP of the entire African continent. Wow, it's a lot of work to be done. We've come to the end of the show, but it doesn't end here. The conversation continues online We are Tech Trends TV on social media. Also watch the show on Channels TV YouTube or cfablog.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwemeka Agbata.